Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We're going to make this very beautiful top together. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, we're going to make our foundation chain, and our foundation chain starts with a chain of 45. So you're going to start with one of the sides. Yes, the front. We're starting with the front and one of the sides. So yeah, you begin with your slip knot. That's how I usually do mine. Yeah, then make a chain of 45. So after I made the chain of 45, as you can see, we're going to alternate between a single crochet and an empty chain. So we're going to first do a single crochet, then chain one. When you chain one, you skip a chain, yeah, then go into the next and do a single crochet. So it's going to be like that all through. So again, you chain one, then skip. After chaining one, you skip and then do a single crochet. Chain one, skip, do a single crochet like that. Yeah, chain one, skip, do a single crochet. Yeah, so let's meet at the end of the row. That's our first row. So now we're at the end of the first row. I realize after doing 45, you're going to reach the end of the row and you find one stitch. So you just chain one and enter into that same stitch. Yeah. Then when you're turning, chain two and turn. Chain two and turn your work. When you turn your work, you're going to have the first hole. Yeah. The first hole that you left behind. So in the hole is where you're putting the single crochet on row two. And then where we had a single crochet in the first row is where you're putting the chain on this time round. So chain one, skip that single crochet and put in the next hole of the previous row. Yeah, so that is how it's going to go all through. So we're going to continue like that until we achieve 24 rows. So I'll just meet you at 24 rows. So these are the 24 rows. You can actually count just to double check. Yeah, so I did count mine: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So you're going to increase to make the arm pleats on one side and the arm, and then reduce to make the design of the front side. So to increase, before you turn your work, you chain one and then put your last stitch in the same hole as that one. So that you've increased by one. Yes, already on that row before you turn. So when you're turning, you chain two But now, instead of inserting your first single crochet in the other hole that we were inserting before, this time around you insert it after the 2 chains that you made. In fact, in the second chain hole, as you can see there. Yeah, that is why you insert your first single crochet, then chain 1, skip, like that. So there, now you've increased again. Yeah, so you do that until you reach the other end of the row. So at the other end of the row, we are going to be reducing to make the other design that curves and, you know, up to the shoulder part. Okay, so I've reached the end of the row. So yeah, as usual, we are putting in that last stitch. Yeah, then when you're turning, you're going to see here we are going to reduce. So when you're turning, it's how you reduce. So you chain 2, turn your work. Yeah, so instead of putting in that first hole that we were putting in previously, you know, because now remember, this side we are increasing and this side we are reducing. Yes, so instead of pushing in that first hole, you skip that first hole and skip even that first single crochet and then put in the next hole. Yeah, so you already see it has that curvy kind of, you know, diagonal kind of feel. So you continue like that up to the end. You continue with the single crochet in the hole, skip 1, chain 1 until the end. So when you go back to the end, we shall still enter our last single crochet in the last one, but you add another by chaining 1 and then adding another single crochet in that same hole. So when you then after you chain 2, so when you chain 2, still the same story on this side of the increment. Yeah, you put your first single crochet in the second chain like that. Yeah, then you just continue with the line normally till the end of the. So you've reached the end, and the end has to be the part you are increasing at. So when you reach that part, you're going to chain 28. Yes, because now you're adding the part of the arm. Now that small increment that we made of the 4 rows is the first part of the armpit, just for it to be a little flexible when you join the both parts. Yeah, so we're going to chain 28. 28 chains. Yeah, so after that you just turn. So you just turn, and in the first stitch, just like how we were doing at the beginning, you know, when we were starting the first on the foundation chain, that's how you continue. So you just do a single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, then do a single crochet in the next one, like that. Yeah, so we continue with that. For the part of the arm, we continue with that until we achieve a total of 31 rows. So you're counting 31 rows starting from where you chained the 28 starting chain of the arm. So you start with that by counting. So remember the first rows we had 24, increased and reduced on the other side using 4 rows. Then now you add 31 rows. Yes. So yeah, just keep doing the single crochet, skip one, single crochet, skip one. Now here you're only reducing on one side. Remember, you keep reducing on that side. Then the other side of the arm, you're not reducing at all. It's going to be straight. So on this other side of reduction, keep reducing. Yes, just keep reducing the side. Every time you reach the end of the row, and you chain 2 and you turn your work, if you skip the first hole and the first single crochet, then put in the second hole. So you do that till you achieve the 31 rows. Yeah. So yeah, I'll meet you there when you've achieved the final bit. So that's how the final bit looks like. I hope yours looks exactly the same. So we already did our yellow part as well. I'll just show you how it looks like. So you see the slanting side you've been reducing. On the other side, the arm and the increment of the armpit. That's how it's supposed to look like. So now we are going to do the back part of the top. Since you finished the 2 parts of the front, as usual, you make a slip knot. Now for the back part, I chained 90 because for both front parts we did chain 45. So this is a join part of the other 2, so we just chain 90. Was our foundation chain. So do your foundation chain of 90. Yeah. Keep working. We're almost there. I know you can see it's very, very nice when you see your creation coming to life and you're like, I did that. It's a very good feeling, you know. So yeah, let's just keep working till our top comes in and, you know, looks nice. You can use any colors of your choice, yeah. So as usual, you use the same trick we've been using with the previous one. Yeah. Single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, like that. So you're still going to do that for the first 24 rows. Then when you've achieved the 24 rows, here we are now, very quickly. Yeah. So you're going to chain 1, put in that same hole, then chain 2, turn your work. So now here you're going to be increasing on 2 sides, yeah? Because now remember the back side doesn't have that reduction bit. So you're just increasing to make the armpit area, yes? So I hope you remember how we did it in the first parts of the video, so we'll just get right into it. So you increase for 3 or 4 rows. Yeah, same thing. Even the other side you increase. So you do that for 4 rows. Then after that we shall add the arms. Yeah, so for the arms on one side, it will be the same as usual. You add 28 chain and work, the continuation. But remember, one side you've not yet worked on it, and it has to also increase. But then if you work on that lane, it's going to mean that you will not have started on the same line. So what you do, get another strand of yarn and go to the previous row. As you can see here, that row is complete, but now the previous row, and insert your strands of yarn, and then you chain your 28, so that the other side, the other continuation from the other side of the arm is on the same lane as this continuation on this other side of the arm. So what you do, you just chain 28 and cut off that strand of yarn. Yeah, so after you cut it off, now you just go back to that row where you had stopped and just continue with the row. Yes, so you just continue with the whole pattern you are using. So if you had, remember, you had stopped with a single crochet, so you're going to chain one and skip one and do a single crochet. So you make sure the strand of yarn is being input as you do those single crochets, just for to again come back, and then you have to probably use a needle to hide them and what. So it's usually easier like that, especially when they're short like that. So you just continue same way as previously how we were doing. So when you reach the end, now remember here on the arms we are not reducing, we are not increasing. So remember, it's just two sides of the arms, it doesn't have that designing part of the front. So you're going to count 27 rows from that first line that you created of the 28 chains to increase on the arms. So from that line, you're going to make 27 rows. Yeah. So after making the 27 rows, I'll meet you there. Yeah, so you bear with me. I did this part of the tutorial in the night. I was actually in the kitchen trying to cook something. So what you do is you put those two parts together of the arms and mark where the other arm is supposed to end. Yes, on your sweater. Remember your top. So remember the back part is coming in straight all through, but you have to separate the two somewhere. So after marking that part, you go back, chain two, that's one side of the arm. Now that's the yellow side of the arm. So chain two and continue, yeah, normally. Put in the single crochet, skip one, single crochet, skip one. So you use the other finished arm of the front side to mark where the arm should stop. So now the next 4 rows, remember we did 27 rows and we want to achieve 31 rows. So the next 4 rows are for you to separate that arm, on the back side. Yeah. So that we leave that space for the neck. Yes. So you just continue up to where you placed a mark. Yeah, so me, I just pulled the strand. I didn't have a mark. I didn't have a stitch marker, so I just pulled the strand, and when I reached there, I could see that this is where I marked because of the pulled strand. So when I reached there, I just chained 2 and turned. Yes. So I already joined my arms, as you can see, on one end. Yes, you can see I'm just double counting just to see we're on the right track. You can also just double count just to check. Yeah. So you just continue and make 4 more rows. So what you do on this side is what you do on the other side as well. Yeah. You mark where the red arm is stopping and make 4 chains from there. Sorry, 4 rows from that point. So what you do, you get a needle and thread and just join the rest of the parts together. Yeah, you can use a single crochet as well as we used for the arms, but needle and thread is really fine. It does the same thing. And now we are going to add the ribbing on the arms. So on the yellow there is red, so you attach the red. Yeah, this is the kind of ribbing you're going to use just shortly. So when you attach the red, pull through a knot and chain 3, 4. Then we're going to be doing the slip stitch. So pull through and just pull through. Yeah, so you're not doing single crochet or double crochet, you're doing the slip stitch in all the chains. So you do 2 more slip stitches in the next holes and then turn your work. Yeah, so when you turn your work, you skip the 2 slip stitches that you made and just continue making slip stitches in the 3 that you previously did. Then chain 1, turn your work, just keep doing the slip stitch, but make sure you're working in the back loop, please. Yeah, then do 2 more, turn your work, skip those 2 that you did, and then continue like that. So you're going to do the same for the other side as well. You're going to, since the side has red, you're going to do yellow on that side. So you just attach the yellow yarn. Yeah, pull through a knot, then do 4 chains, 2, 3, and 4. Then you do a slip stitch. Yeah, in the 3. So you do 1 slip stitch, 2, and 3. Yeah, so after doing that, you make 2 more slip stitches in the next holes. So 1 and 2, and then turn your work. So when you turn, you skip those 2 that you input, then just continue doing the slip stitch in the back loop in the 3 chains previously made. So you just continue like that until you come back to where you started. And when you come back where you started, you join using a slip stitch as well. Yeah. Since you're done with the arms ribbing now, we're going to do the one on the front, that slanting part of the front. So make sure you attach your yarn from the inside. So on the red we do a yellow. So I did single crochet in the first row. Yeah, so you just continue like that, single crochet in each stitch. Yeah. So you have to make sure that that yellow that is coming from the red stops in the middle of the back. So I'm just determining the middle. You determine the middle. I have no stitch markers at the moment, so yeah, I'm just using the technique of pulling the strand, and then I find it when I come back and I reach the place. So yeah, you do the single crochet till you reach that mark. So when you reach that mark, you're going to turn and use red, because you're going now to the other side of the yellow. Let's meet in that middle part. So that's the middle part, and this is how you do it to mix the colors. Yeah. So in your last stitch, let me just show you again. You don't pull through with the yellow, you pull through with the red instead. So once you've pulled through with the red, you're just going to continue normally with a single crochet in every stitch. Yeah. So you leave the yellow behind, because now you're going to find it when you come back and use it. So yeah, that is how you add another color actually. There's also a link to another video where I explain very well how you can mix colors without, without having to tie them, or without it leaving, funny notes and stuff. So how to mix colors neatly. So the link is also in the description. So once you reach the lower side of the red, you come back, you just chain one, come back, but you come back with a slip stitch, yeah, in the single crochet that you already made. So as per usual, when you're joining the colors, instead of pulling through with the other color that you're using previously, you pull through with the new color, and that's how it is. So I'm going to show you now how to make the holes. Yeah, so you're just going to continue. When you get to the yellow, you do one chain, turn your work, continue with the slip stitch now. So you're going to identify where you want your holes to be. Yeah, so once you've identified where you want your holes to be, when you reach that point, you chain depending on how the buttons are going to be. So don't leave a big hole if the buttons are going to be small. So if the buttons are small, you can do one chain and skip a stitch. If the buttons are medium, you can do 2 or 3 chains. Yeah, so let me just take it back and see how it's done. So you do a slip knot. I think I'd put manually, for that's why I went back. So slip knot. Then when you reach that part, you chain. Now me, I had a little big buttons, not so big, so I chained 3. Then you skip 3 stitches and just continue, yeah, with your slip knot. But remember, just like how we're doing the ribbing of the arms, the slip knot is in the back loop. please don't forget that. Yeah, so again, when you reach where you want your other hole to be, you do the number of stitches and skip those number of stitches as well. If you do 3 chains, you skip 3 stitches and just continue ahead. So make sure you leave holes big enough but not so big for the kind of buttons that you have. Yeah, so you have to have predetermined your buttons previously. Yeah, so that is how you put the holes. So I'm going to just add one more row all around to close off. Yeah, so just to show you how it will look after adding another row and closing off. So I have 3 holes all together. And when you're adding the buttons, make sure you add them exactly to where the holes align on the other side, so that the top is very proportional. I was going to say professional. Proportional. Okay, so now we want to add the ribbing on the lower side. Now the ribbing on the lower side, we are going to use yellow throughout. Yes. So you're going to attach our yarn, pull through a loop. Yeah. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7. Then just like how we did the ribbing on the sides of the arms, just do slip knots. Why do I keep saying slip knots? Slip stitch. Oh my god. Keep doing the slip stitch in all the chain, the whole chain. Then you do 2 slip stitches in the next 2 holes. Yeah. So I like hiding my strands of yarn as I work so that I don't go back to again use a needle and thread. So do the 2, then when you turn your work, skip those 2 that you made and just continue with the slip stitch in the back loop of the previous slip stitch. So just like that, you just continue with the slip stitch. So when you reach the end, you chain 1 and just continue again, and then do a slip stitch. When you reach the end on this other side, do 2 slip stitches, then turn your work, skip those 2, and just continue like that. So you will continue like that until the end when you close off. So it's going to look like that. Yeah, till you reach the other side of the top, and then you just close off. So after that, you've finished everything literally. So you're going to add the buttons like you can see. Now, before I took the pictures, I'd only put 2 buttons so far. Yeah, but add your 3 buttons and you're good to go. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Also ask any questions in the comment section. Thank you. Bye.